All right, we are live, and today we're going to be talking again about augmented and virtual reality in the classroom. And I wanted to just share a few different tools on how you can go from our basic textbooks to something a little bit more creative, something more engaging. And we're going to look at one book, and then we're also going to look at some of the aspects of what 360 is. So there's lots of different applications that could be applied to 360. So I'm going to be talking to you first about the augmented reality. I'm going to show you a book, how that book can transform your 360 view. And then we're also going to be looking at Google Street View. And so that's an app that you can have on your device and also have a 360 camera attached to it. So I'm going to first start off with the augmented reality book, which is The Fantastic Flying Book of Mr. Morris Lesmore. And this book is fantastic. I have a link for you all to look at. It has a bunch of different AR books. I always get the question, well, how do we know which books have AR and which don't? And in this case, we're going to see that these books, getting some notifications here, but we're going to see that these books are very specific and they have very specific apps. So because of that, you're going to see some changes here with what this book can do as opposed to another textbook that you can change and modify and use some augmented reality. You're a lot more limited, and certainly the people that have invested that time into creating the augmented reality on these books have invested a lot of time and a lot of money. So typically these books are a little bit more expensive. But I always find my books on Amazon. So the Fantastic Flying Books, I think I got it for $9 on Amazon. Some people don't realize that what value those books have. And this book was shown to me by Deborah Atchison at some point, I guess about a year and a half ago, showed me this book because both of us are big fans of augmented reality. So it was really neat to see what this book can do. And I think it's definitely one of the best out there. So what I'm going to do is pull up that app. But first, I'm going to start mirroring from my device. And I'm going to share that screen with you. So I'm going to see what I can do here. All right. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you the book and then also showing through this application. And if I can't get my mirroring to pop up right now, then I may just go ahead and show you through the camera lens here. So sometimes reflector doesn't work. So because of that, I have to kind of just wing it here. So I'm going to try the best that I can to get this working. So just bear with me if you're watching live. All right. So some of the benefits of using augmented reality in your class is allowing your students to explore in ways that for them may be much more useful than in just looking at a flat page, because they can really be more personalized. They have time to go back and look and see what's available and what their interests are. And without that option, sometimes it makes it difficult when they're just having to watch one video and that's all they have. Whereas with augmented and virtual reality, you have the option of, I'm just not seeing my air server here running at all, which is kind of a bummer. But so I'll just try to show you through my screen and then hopefully you guys get the point. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up the app, which it's called Imaginotron. Sorry, not the best view in here. But it is an app with that little hat, and it's a guy on there. So this particular app is linked up in the Assembly Web Mix, which I share pretty often. So I definitely share that. You guys can see at first the app is popping up and showing us some different features here. So I'm going to choose the book to push play. And here's the book. Now the front page does come to life. It has little legs that pop out. This having a cover on it is not the best use of augmented reality because the glare created by it gets really tricky. So because of that, that makes it a little difficult. I'm going to try to plug this in and see if that gives us any other options here. All right. All right. So here I'm going to look at the book that comes to life, and I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So on each page, you will be able to see, oh, this is tricky. Thank you, Air Server, for working right now. Okay, so with this, you can see that the book, if I get a full view of the book, that book should come to life, okay? And so if I can get a full screen view here, oops, give me one sec. All right, let me try that again. Okay, so you guys can see that on the pages, you can see words now flying around. And one of the features here in this particular book, and this is funny because whenever I show this to teachers, they start referencing back to this book as the tornado book, even though, in fact, it's not, but they love this page. This seems to be the page that kind of sparks their interest. But if you look right here, inside of my house, you can see that I have a tornado floating around. And that experience there is pretty insane. So you have little people flying around. The kids, even though I'm not looking at the page anymore, the kids just love exploring these pages because they can look around and see what's happening. And it feels like it's inside of their classroom. So that interaction is pretty awesome. There are several pages here that give us different views. Every single page has some sort of experience on here. So as you flip through, the book tells a story. You can also have it speak to you. So if I had the book letting me read it to me, so for your younger students, and sometimes the pages take a few seconds for them to experience it, but as it's going through, and you can see. Drifting through the sky above him, Morris saw a lovely lady. So there's a book flying around you right now, but as it's going through and sharing the book, sometimes the pages kind of curve and give a glare. Because of that glare, it makes it difficult for the students to really pull that up. So one of the things that I did was just try to get some of the pages just in view and just lay it flat. So by having it matte and not having a glare on there and having it lay flat, it allowed the students to experience it without having the rounded pages here being a problem to run that. So Fantastic Flying Books is a great one. There are some awesome books out there that are augmented reality. There's actually one for Halloween right now. It's a haunted book, and that one's pretty insane. I think that one kind of gives you a sense of what, you know, I would say that was on the spooky end. I would say maybe secondary students that you can share that with. And so that's kind of those books, they're all grouped up in that Symbaloo Web Mix in one folder. And so you can go through and basically connect your students with those books, have them at different stations, have them on those devices, and it's a really neat experience for your kids. So I definitely recommend that particular book for the younger students. So all right, I'm going to show you the next one. Unfortunately, I'm just not able to connect for whatever reason. Just mirroring devices, or you never know. But I'm going to go ahead and show you Google Street View, and that is one that is really a fantastic app at getting your kids to explore using Google Maps. I create 360s through the Google Street View app. There's a couple different settings that you have on there. As you can see right here, it kind of just shows you right now. Well, hopefully you can see. I wasn't getting such a great glare there. But here you can see that you have some spots here on the map that you can touch and zoom into and explore. It also has some recommendations if you slide up. So I can go in here, I could tap this one, and I can scroll around to look. And I'm also able to put this inside of cardboard and give that transforming view here. There's a little cardboard guy up top, so it'll split your screen. It's going to ask you to scan that particular QR code to know what kind of viewer you're using. Or I could touch the circle with the arrow inside and I can just turn around. So this is a really great tool. A lot of classrooms do not have Google Cardboard or a viewer. as we talked about before, but many classrooms have an iPad. And so because of that, this is one way that you can have your students explore different areas and engage. In addition, it also has the option of having a camera that will take a 360. Now, I used to use an app called Sphere a long time ago. I don't know, they stopped really supporting it recently. So that particular one kind of just was not as useful as this one. And it kind of happened at the same time. So it makes me wonder if there was a reason for them not supporting it because of Google Street View coming out. But down at the bottom, if I choose a camera, I'm able to select camera at the bottom. And then that means I'm using my camera and my device to take snapshots of little pieces of something. So if I do that, it's going to say, okay, here's where we're at. And then it has me move it up and down. This is tricky. There we go. I got to get that little orange circle in the middle. And then you can see right now that it's just kind of taking, I'm having to work backwards. All right, yay. Okay, so you can see though, it takes little snapshots one at a time and it will piece it all together. Even though right now you see that line, there may be something funny because I'm trying to move it right here to make it viewable for you. But ultimately, when it brings all these pieces together, it kind of just lines all of that stuff up for you. I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to discard it. But it is really cool to have this feature when, like I traveled around, I went out to ISTE this past summer in Colorado, and then we ended up going to California and then driving back here to Texas. So as we were going from one place to the next, I'd, oh, stop, 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 stop. Whoa, what is this? Near Salt Lake, Utah. So that was a really neat experience to see the salt flats, and I had never seen anything like that. So it was neat to just go out there. We went out to Lake Tahoe and on the Nevada side, and so had a chance to kind of go through there and scan some really neat scenery. So I was able to post that inside of Google Street View that then is posted as a 360 experience inside of Google Maps as well as Google Street View. So then I can share it with other people. Instead of them just seeing an image, they're able to experience where I was at. And that's so neat for me and my family because we can go back and look and say, oh, remember when we were sitting there in Lake Tahoe at that area where we were looking out and the temperature was perfect and we were just sitting there just enjoying it. It's like I get to experience that with them again as we're looking around. Oh, wow, look at that. Things that I wouldn't typically remember, right? I had a chance to kind of snapshot that experience. There is another way to take 360s. There's tons of different 360 cameras. I'm saying tons, maybe not tons, but there's lots of different cameras out there that are offering the opportunity to take a 360 in a much simpler way. But it does cost money. So that's always, you know, it's like, all right, do I pay for a 360 camera? How much will I use this? I think that we're going to see that market really go up. I think that we're going to start seeing that market actually embedded in our phones. We're already seeing Google Pixel that is promoted based upon this VR experience. I think that that's something that we'll be looking for. I already see snap-ons for phones where it's giving you a different lens to get 180 views. So we want a whole 360 all around us. But with those things already kind of coming out, we know that that's something that will be integrated into our natural, normal experiences anyway. But the benefit of using 360s is our students get to create. And I think for me, that's where it was key. Going and experiencing virtual reality is fantastic. I love it. I love going out and having these adventures and these experiences with the kids that they wouldn't be able to go otherwise. So they need to have those experiences. But in addition to that, they really need to move beyond just experiencing it and actually creating it. So that is where I think creating these 360s are important. So here, this particular camera works with the Samsung Gear. I was able to go in and request through the loan program through Google. So they have a camera loan program. I put it in our chat if you're watching live, or I will share it afterwards inside of the comments so that you're able to see that feature. So that is incredible. I think that's a great opportunity for people, for anybody to be able to request for wherever you're going. So if you're going on vacation, you know that that would be a really neat 360 experience. Put it in. So that link is very difficult to find. started out somewhere, changed, and I don't think it's really advertised, but a lot of people that are serious about photography that want to get a good view, they have went in and tried out some of these different cameras. Initially, it was like the camera that you saw on backs, the backpacking big camera that, going exploring different areas. And now you can see that they're using these different cameras that are very useful and effective as well. They're getting much smaller. They're not having to be on a car anymore, driving around and taking snapshots of you or your area. But to be able to have this for students is also equally as important. So having a loan program and maybe having it incorporated into what you're doing in your lessons, I think is pretty cool. So I went in and applied. I got it for an event for TCEA conference here in Texas happening in February, because I'm doing some sessions with virtual reality. And because of that, that will be something that will be able to get used in Austin, Texas. And the participants will be able to play with it a little bit to see the benefit of using that. Also, once I got accepted for that, I thought, well, I'm going to TwitterNet this month to go talk about virtual reality at the DigCit Summit. So I thought that was perfect, because that would allow me to go there in San Francisco, go take some 360s, and then also show the participants as a panelist in the innovation part of it, to kind of experience what the benefit of virtual reality of 360s and how that can influence our students of the future. So with that being said, I wanted to walk you through, because I felt like that was an important part. For me, I had a very difficult time finding people that were talking about how to use this. I went through the manual, nothing. I went through online, nothing. It's like I could not find somebody to kind of walk you through how to set this up. So I figured as an educator, I would want somebody to kind of walk me through and figure out how to use it. So I'm only showing you inside of the Google Street View what that looks like. But if my camera was turned on, or the camera was turned on, so down here at the bottom, there is a power button. And so that power button I just held on to until that lit up. And then right now you can see that it's on, because it is, well, you really can't see. It is, there we go. It is lit up. And so it's letting us know that it's on. Up at the very top of your screen, it's giving me a time, but I actually want to look for Google Street View. But first, I do need to make sure that it's connected. You have to get it connected so that you can connect it to your phone. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my settings. And I'm going to come up here to my menu until, nope. Nope. All right, let's try that again. All right, I'm going to keep pushing my menu. All right, and I'm looking for Google Street View. It's pretty small. No. I just can't get anything to work right today. All right, so once I get onto all right, I'm just going to shut this off and try it one more time. I'm going to go ahead and go to Google Street View. There we go. Okay, so up at the top, it does say Google Street View. It took me way too long, and I am going to select it up top. It's going to send out a signal for me to connect on my phone. And on my phone, instead of seeing my own Wi-Fi, I should be able to select gear. And once I select gear, then now it's connected to the device, okay? So I have now connected this device with my phone. So when I go into Google Street View, it's no longer orange down at the bottom where the camera was. It's blue because it's now connected. So I just selected that. It just took a 360, which was probably really awkward. So I'm going to try it again. But it takes it a few seconds and kind of gives you a check mark down at the bottom as it's processing it. And then it will show you, but I'm going to take another one here. And then it will show me what that picture looks like. So the nice thing is I don't have to be connected to it. I can walk around the corner, set it somewhere, and allow it to take a picture, a snapshot, without me actually being in view. And that is a challenge to do. It's showing that I have two sitting here right here. And I'll show you what this looks like. And so here I can go through and see that it took a 360 of my arm. Awesome. And then of us talking right here, okay? So there it is. There I am. And you can see that I have that view to go back and look at. Again, I'm sorry about the glare. But if it's something that I'm happy with, then I can actually, if I touch my screen once, then down here at the bottom, I can publish it to Google Street View. Of course, I'm not going to publish that, but I could. And so that's kind of a benefit to have that listed and available and easy to push that out. So some things I have private that I never pushed out, I can always go in there and delete it. But another added benefit is whatever pictures I've taken, it actually shows up in my camera roll. So I really like that because then I don't have to worry about trying to go find a 360 again to replace the one that didn't work out so well, because I actually have it inside of my device. And that is a benefit with other apps. So there have been times I've taken 360s in Google Street View, and then I've pulled it into an app called RoundMe to add a layer of text to identify. That would be perfect for students, and it's free. So then I can take that and I can load it into another app, and then I can use it for other ways. So I definitely see that as a benefit in having your own 360 stored on your device instead of just stored in that app. So that is some of the apps that I wanted to show you and some of the tools. I do want to show you that I'm going to screen share a little bit here. All right. I'll go ahead and just say the entire screen here, and then I'll make this large. All right, there we are. Okay, so that link is posted right now in the chat, and I'll make sure to post it under comments. But here you can see the Google Street View loan program walked you through kind of what the expectations are and if you're going to be able to participate in it. I am using it in both cases for education, but really pulling it back to creating more 360s. I am a Google Guide where it allows me to share out different things with 360s, so reviews and things of that sort. Tour guide is, I think, what they call it. And so I don't know if that helped out in any way, but you can fill that information out and basically explain, like, why are you using it? You know, what's the benefit to Google for sending you out on their money a camera? So that's pretty cool. I think that that's neat. You fill it out, you say next, they let you know, hey, by the way, if you get this, we'll notify you. When I put this in last month for October, I got a notification, I think the next day or the day after, letting me know it was approved and it was on its way. So super fast. I've had it. They are saying that I'm going to have to send it back before the event, which was kind of strange, but I'm just going to get in touch with them. But that is a great feature to have available when you may not, I'm going to stop screen sharing here, but you may not have something like that at your disposal. I know I didn't. So I was really just using the free tools and options that were available to me. So to have a camera that Google is then loaning out to you is pretty cool. So that is everything that I wanted to share with you. I apologize not being able to screen share. I'm contemplating on trying this one more time and maybe having it screen shared, but hopefully you were able to get some good resources and tools to utilize in your classroom. And I will see you guys again next Friday. I'm going to be talking about Symbaloo, using their lesson plans and going from where you're at, maybe never experiencing virtual reality, to using those tools and kind of building upon them. So hopefully I'll see you guys here at 1 o'clock Central Time next Friday. Thanks.